Amidst the chaos of battle, a lone soldier, battered and bleeding, lay on the scorched earth. His vision blurred by sweat and blood, he saw the enemy closing in. As he was about to give up, a knight clad in shining armor emerged from the smoke. The 8-pointed cross gleaming on his chest. With a swift and decisive strike, the knight dispatched the approaching enemies, then knelt beside the fallen soldier. "Hold on, brother," the knight said, his voice a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil. "Help has arrived." This was the essence of Knights Hospitallers, not just warriors, but savers on the battlefield. Their mission: to protect, heal, and defend the helpless. At the height of their power, the Knights Hospitaller were a force to be reckoned with across Europe and Mediterranean. Originating in Jerusalem, they evolved from humble caregivers into formidable warriors. These knights were not only masters of combat, but also skilled diplomats and strategists, wielding power through their fortified strongholds. Imagine vast fortresses perched on rocky cliffs, impregnable against enemy assaults, with banners fluttering in the wind, symbolizing hope and protection. Picture fleets of ships, the white cross on their sails, patrolling the seas to safeguard pilgrims and traders from pirates and invaders. This was the world of Knights Hospitaller. Origins and early history. Imagine the bustling streets of Jerusalem in the late 11th century, a chaotic mix of pilgrims, traders, and crusaders. Amongst the noise and dust, a group of devoted men stood out, dedicated to a different kind of battle. These were the early Knights Hospitaller, founded during the First Crusade in 1099 by Blessed Gerard. Their mission: to care for the sick and injured pilgrims. They opened their first hospital, a humble sanctuary near the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where they bandage wounds and offer solace to the weary. But Jerusalem was a dangerous place. The air was thick with threat of conflict, and the pilgrims needed more than just medical care, they needed protection. So these humble caregivers picked up swords and shields, ready to defend those in their charge. The black mantle with the white 8-pointed cross became their symbol, a beacon of hope for those in need. By the early 12th century, the Knights Hospitaller had transformed. No longer just healers, they became fearsome warriors. They were fewer than other military orders, but their determination was unmatched. They fought in key battles, their reputation for bravery growing with each victory. From caregivers to crusaders, the Knights Hospitaller were now a force you had to respect. Expansion and consolidation of power. Now we come to the fun part. The 12th and 13th centuries were a crucial time for the Knights Hospitallers. They take part in the defense and expansion of Christian territories in the Holy Land, participating in the famous Siege of Ashkelon. This fortified city on the coast of present-day Israel has been a persistent thorn in the side of Crusaders, serving as a base for raids and a symbol of Muslim resistance. The Hospitallers were instrumental in leading several assaults on the city's formidable walls. A significant turning point in the siege was a capture of crucial tower by the Crusaders. Legend has it that a Hospitaller knight named William of Tyre was among the first to scale the walls and secure this strategic position, leading to eventual fall of the city. At the horns of Hattin, as the Crusader army became surrounded and began to falter, The Hospitallers, alongside the Templars, took up position in the rear guard, attempting to hold off encircling Muslim forces to buy time for the main body of the army. The Battle of Hattin ended in a disastrous defeat for the Crusaders. Surrounded, exhausted, and suffering from the lack of water, the Crusader army was decimated, and with them many of the Knights Hospitaller fell. They commanded an impressive network of fortresses and castles, including the famous Crac de Chevalier in Syria, a symbol of their power. In these fortresses, our protagonists weren't just warriors, but also administrators, managing lands, collecting taxes, and engaging in trade, further bolstering their influence. As their richness and power grew, so did the numbers, swelling to thousands, as they recruited from the nobility of Europe who were eager for easy money and glory in Holy Land. The secret of the Holy Grail. While often associated with the Knights Templar, another order of the chivalry, some legends suggest that the Knights Hospitaller were also guardians of holy relics, including the Holy Grail. According to these tales, the Hospitallers were entrusted with the Grail for safekeeping, hiding it within their fortified castles and hospitals across the Holy Land. The knights' dedication to secrecy and their vows of poverty and piety made them ideal guardians of such sacred artifact. The legend claims that the Grail's healing powers were the true source of the miraculous cures attributed to the Hospitallers' infirmaries. But the Holy Land was not to be their permanent home. In 1291, the fall of Acre, the last Crusader stronghold, forced the knights to find a new base. They found refuge on the island of Rhodes in 1310, under the leadership of Grand Master Foulques de Villaret. They transformed Rhodes into a fortress island, with imposing walls and a powerful fleet patrolling the seas. The Cursed Sword of the Grand Master Foulques de Villaret. Foulques de Villaret was the figure surrounded by mystery and intrigue. One legend tells of his cursed sword, a weapon said to have been forged in the fires of hell. According to the tale, the sword granted its wielder unparalleled combat prowess, but at a great cost. It was believed that the sword demanded blood and would ultimately bring ruin to its bearer. Villaret, known for his ruthless and often controversial leadership, was said to have met a tragic end, a victim of the sword's malevolent influence. The island became a hub of activity, with the Order maintaining a fleet of ships to combat piracy and protect Christian shipping lanes. Their successful defense of Rhodes against the Ottoman Empire in the Siege of Rhodes in 1480 was a true test of their skill. A small force of knights, perhaps a few thousand, faced a massive Ottoman army, led by Sultan Mehmed II. The air was thick with tension as Grand Master Pierre Abuzion led the defense. Against all odds, the knights repelled the invaders, their strategic fortifications and sheer bravery turning the tide. But the real challenge came in 1522. This time the Ottomans, with the Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent at the helm, returned with an even larger force. The siege lasted for 6 grueling months, with both sides suffering heavy losses. Despite their heroic defense, the sheer size and persistence of the Ottoman army eventually overwhelmed the knights. Grand Master Philippe Villiers de l'Isle Adam negotiated an honorable surrender, allowing the knights to leave with their dignity intact. The lost treasures of the Hospitallers. According to the legend, During their expulsion from Rhodes, the knights hid a vast treasures to keep it out of the enemy hands. These treasures, said to include gold, precious jewels, and sacred relics, was hidden in a secret location known only for the highest-ranking members of the Order. Despite numerous searches and modern efforts to locate it, the treasure of the Hospitallers remain lost to this day, fueling speculation and adventurous quests. They relocated once more, this time to Malta in 1530, granted by Emperor Charles V. The rugged island, with its strategic position in the Mediterranean, became the new stronghold of the Knights Hospitaller. Under the Knights' rule, Malta experienced significant economic growth. The Order promoted trade, improved agriculture, and established a thriving maritime industry. The Knights also introduced advanced medical practices and built hospitals, continuing their original mission of caring for the sick and poor. Culturally, the Knights brought a Renaissance flair to Malta, commissioning art, architecture, and learning institutions. The construction of St. John's Co-Cathedral, with its stunning Baroque interior and Caravaggio paintings, is a testament to their cultural patronage. The Hospitallers transformed Malta in a formidable naval base. They built an impressive fleet and dockyards, making Malta a key player in the control of Mediterranean Sea. Their naval prowess allowed them to conduct raids against Ottoman shipping and protect Christian maritime interests. They undertook massive construction projects to fortify the island against all invasions. They built impressive fortresses, bastions and walls, most notably the city of Valletta, which became their new capital. Valletta fortifications were some of the most advanced of their time, designed to withstand prolonged sieges and attacks. Great Siege of Malta, 1565. The Ottomans tested these mighty fortifications in the Great Siege of Malta in 1565, which was the Knights Hospitallers' finest hour. The island of Malta, a fortress with impregnable defenses, faced an Ottoman invasion force 10 times its size. The Ottomans numbered around 40,000, while the Knights had just approximately 6,000 defenders, including 500 Knights Hospitallers, Maltese militia, and Spanish troops. The 70-year-old Grand Master Jean Parisot de Villaret led the defense. He personally led a counterattack against the Ottomans when they breached the walls of Sanglia. The Hospitallers fortified 3 key positions: Fort St. Elmo, Fort St. Angelo, and Fort St. Michael. They withstood relentless bombardment and assaults, particularly at Fort St. Elmo, which fell after a month of fierce fighting, causing heavy Ottoman casualties. For nearly 4 months, the Knights held out against relentless attacks, using every trick in the book to repel the invaders, including the ingenious use of fire ships to break the Ottoman naval blockade. The Knights prepared several ships loaded with explosive and combustibles. These fire ships were then set adrift towards the Ottoman galleys, causing significant destruction. The final victory came with the arrival of relief force from Sicily, turning the tide and driving the Ottomans back. The siege was a turning point in European history. It was a significant blow to Ottoman ambitions in the Mediterranean, and a turning point in the struggle between Christian and Muslim powers, proving that the Ottoman Empire could be defeated. It cemented the Knights Hospitallers' reputation as the ultimate defenders of Christendom, and ensured Malta would remain under Knights' control for centuries. Military and political strategies. Now let's delve into what made the Knights Hospitallers such formidable warriors. These knights were not just brave, they were innovative. Their fortresses were masterpieces of military architecture, designed to withstand the fiercest of sieges. Having walls that could repel cannon fire and underground tunnels for surprise attack. In addition to their fortifications, the knights maintain a well-trained and disciplined fighting force. They employed a combination of heavy cavalry, skilled infantry, and naval units to adapt to various combat scenarios. Their ability to coordinate land and sea operations made them a versatile and formidable opponent. Their numbers might have been smaller compared to other forces, often a few thousand strong, but their strategic brilliance more than made up for it. The Knights Hospitaller were also a master diplomats, forging strategic alliances with European monarchies to secure support and resources. They maintained close ties with the papacy and various monarchies, leveraging these relationships to bolster their influence and legitimacy. The Order's ability to navigate the complex political landscape of medieval Europe was essential to their enduring power. To summarize, they knew how to pick their allies and use them to their advantage. The Knights established a network of commanderies across Europe, which served as a hub of recruiting, fundraising, and managing their extensive properties. This decentralized structure allowed them to maintain a strong presence and influence throughout Europe. Decline and transformation. As the centuries progressed, the Knights Hospitaller faced numerous challenges that led to their gradual decline. The rise of powerful nation-states in Europe, changing political dynamics and internal conflicts weakened their influence. The Protestant Reformation and the subsequent loss of their properties in Protestant territories also dealt a significant blow to their resources and support. The advent of new military technologies made their traditional fortifications less effective. Additionally, the growing dominance of European naval powers like Spain and Portugal diminished the strategic importance of the Knights' maritime operations. The age of knights and castles was coming to an end, and the Knights Hospitaller had to adapt or perish. But this isn't a tale of defeat. The Knights Hospitaller reinvented themselves, shifting from military engagements to humanitarian efforts. By the 18th century, they focused on charitable activities, aligning with their original mission of care and compassion. But still in 1798, Napoleon captured Malta during his expedition to Egypt. Pretty much because he could, and Malta was an important stop before his invasion of Egypt. The Knights Hospitaller were expelled from Malta. Grand Master von Hempesch and the remaining knights were forced into exile. But that wouldn't stop our boys. They needed to reinvent themselves again, completely, and start from scratch. In the modern era, the Knights Hospitaller, now known as the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, have transformed into a formidable global humanitarian force. With around 13,500 members, they are a recognized sovereign entity, wielding significant influence and respect in international circles. They provide medical aid, disaster relief, and humanitarian assistance worldwide. They operate hospitals, clinics, and care centers in over 120 countries, loudly declaring that they are here, alive and kicking. These modern knights even possess their own passports and enjoy diplomatic relations with over 100 states, a real proof of their political maneuvering skills. They maintain close ties to the papacy in Rome, ensuring their spiritual mission aligned with their humanitarian efforts. From orchestrating large-scale disaster relief operations To spearheading initiatives in war-torn regions, their legacy lives on against all odds. And also, did I ever tell you, they are very rich. Conclusion and reflections. In this mind-boggling journey, we've explored the epic rise of the Knights Hospitaller, from their humble beginnings in Jerusalem to their transformation into a military powerhouse. We've seen their impact on history. Their fortresses, battles, and strategic brilliance made them legends of the medieval world. The Knights Hospitaller story is one of resilience, adaptability, and unwavering dedication. Their legacy as both warriors and healers continue to inspire. Their order's evolution from medieval warriors to modern humanitarians highlight the enduring relevance of their mission and values. Thanks for joining us on this fascinating adventure through history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with our fellow history enthusiasts. Let us know in the comments what other epic tales you would like us to uncover. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive.